Alrighty guys, we're back for some Toxrill's Domain, and this is a Dominaria United Standard brew. We're going to go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Redcat and I play aggro decks and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to you. What do we got in the build here, guys? This one's based around Toxrill. We got a couple of these on the very top end. Toxrill the Corrosive is a 7 mana 7/7 at the beginning of each end step. Put a slime counter on each creature you don't control. Creatures you don't control get -1/-1 for each slime counter on them. Whenever a creature you don't control with a slime counter on it dies, create a 1/1 black slug creature token, and then for a blue and a black you can sacrifice a slug to draw a card. Very nice. It's a great boss monster to have on the top end, and instead of going for like a reanimator style, we're kind of going for like a domain control style build. So also on the top end we have 4 Leyline Bindings. Very powerful removal. It's going to be very easy to get cheap. Most of the time it's probably going to cost about 2 mana, which is kind of insane. Probably 2 to 4, but most of the time it's going to be 2 mana is my guess, right? We got a couple Rona's Vortex for some early game removal, but also the kicker cost where you can just put something on the bottom of the owner's library is actually pretty insane. With a single slip out the back in an emergency, we can go ahead and target an opponent's creature, right, and maybe survive an extra turn. But also it's just pretty great to have a slip out the back available and ready for when you get your very valuable creatures on the board. We got 4 Make Disappears here. It's gonna do a thing once in a while. There's a lot of things like you want to interrupt your opponent's turn 3 play, you know, like Make Disappear is perfect for that. Couple Tainted Indulgence. So for blue and a black, you draw 2 cards, then discard a card unless there are 5 or more mana values among cards in your graveyard. So later on in the game, this becomes a 2 mana draw 2, which is actually pretty insane, but overall, this is just a very valuable card. Got a single Path of Peril for our first board wipe here, and the cleave cost is no joke, where if you cleave it for 4 white and a black, you destroy all creatures, so nice. Got 4 Fable of the Mirror Breakers, just an incredible card. We don't even got to go over it anymore. You guys know why it's in here. Got a single Celestis. Yeah, I usually bring this up with Celestis, but you can gain a ridiculous amount of life with Celestis by passing it back and forth from night and day. So, okay, now for some more of the domain cards. We got 4 Drag to the bottom here, 4 mana sorcery with domain. Each creature gets -X/-X until end of turn, where X is 1 plus the number of basic land types among lands you control. This is usually going to take care of everything on the board, and maybe even sometimes take care of everything except for your Toxrill, which is pretty cool, honestly. Got a couple Sheoldreds in here, so we know the power of Sheoldred, but it pairs pretty well with Toxrill as well, where you can sacrifice those slugs, draw a card, now you're gaining some more life off of Sheoldred. Speaking of pairing well with Sheoldred, guys, big score, we got 4 of them in here. I feel like, how come we're not seeing big score as much? Because is this not still just an insane ability to have? 3 and a red, instant speed as an additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card, draw 2 cards, and create 2 treasure tokens. Being able to ramp into that Toxrill is going to be very important, and then also just drawing things is very important too, huh? So we got a couple Sphinx of Clear Skies. The creatures in this deck, they are all boss monsters in and of themselves. Sphinx of the Clear Skies is a 5 mana 5/5 flying with ward 2, and then a domain ability here. When it deals combat damage to a player, reveal the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of basic land types among lands you control. An opponent separates those cards into 2 piles, put 1 pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. So this can get you some serious card draw, and it is very dangerous, and the opponent needs to remove it as soon as possible, but then it might be pretty difficult for them to do because it has that ward too, so nice. Got a couple Cruelty of Gix in here too. Being able to reanimate Toxrill off of the Cruelty could be pretty cool, but also being able to like reanimate Sphinx or Sheoldred's pretty powerful as well. The top two abilities are pretty good too, where the second chapter can go ahead and grab you a drag to the bottom if you're really panicking for that board wipe, you know? Okay, the mana base, guys. We got a single Seed of the Empire, a Soaring City, and Abandoned Mire in here. No Crucible of Defiance. It is in the honorable mentions, but since this is a domain deck, and there's not too much red in the main board over here, I opted to not have the Crucible, actually, and I think the Seat is more valuable, where, you know, we only have one card that has white in it in here, and that's Leyline Binding. But overall, yeah, I think Seat is going to be much better than Crucible in this build. Okay, a bunch of triomes here. Got all 4 of the towers, all 4 lounges. We got 2 of the headquarters. See, we don't have any green at all, so we don't need the green, but we need it for the domain. So that's why we got a couple headquarters, because it also has blue and white. And then, of course, a single garden and a single proving ground for the same reason. We're just trying to get all the domain colors out. All the other dual lands are leaning towards black because the top end, like, there's double black in Path, double black in Drag to the Bottom, Sheoldred, Cruelty, and Toxrill. So now there is the double blue in Sphinx, but we're not too worried. Like, we get treasures on Fable, big score, and you can tap for any mana on Celestis. I think overall the mana base is going to be pretty solid. Speaking of which, guys, we do have 25 lands in here. Other honorable mentions, Bank Buster is a very powerful card. Couldn't find room for it this time, but it would be like the perfect build to have at least one of these in. Sludge Monster pairs beautifully with Toxrill, but not this time round. Sphinx of the Clear Skies is much more powerful, and this time round I'm going for victories, so Sludge Monster would be really cool though. Sanctuary Warden would also be a really cool top end, but since we only have the white in here for the Leyline Binding, I didn't want to push it too far, but I also don't think we'd have any issues actually casting this, or reanimating this for that matter. Okay, guys, hopefully I went over the deck well enough. It's a relatively simple one. We're trying to control the board state and get our big old chunky creatures on the board. So, yeah, let's go ahead, take it into some ranked, and see how we do. All right into the first match. I saw it waiting for the opponent down there, so what are you bringing to the table, buddy? Good first hand? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's fine. I like having the Celestis here. We should be able to get the double black for drag to the bottom. Worst comes to worst, we have the Celestis, right? So, yeah, I like it. We'll keep this. It looks a little risky since we don't have the white source, but I'm not concerned about it. I think we'll be fine. Especially if the Celestis hits the board, of course, right? Because tapping for any mana happens to be pretty good. A little bit of ramp and then a good chance. Oh, nice. A good chance of drawing land too, so get the headquarters down first. That way we have the white available on the Leyline Binding, which will be 1 mana once the lounge hits the board. So we could pick up the Naturalist, so that way things don't cost 1 less in their hand. Yeah, we'll do that. That's fine. We'll do it while they're tapped out too, because some of the Selesnya... Oh, it's not Selesnya. This might be Naya enchantments with the garden over there. That could be a little concerning. Okay, they're gonna borrowed time our Leyline Binding. Nice. Toxrill, nice. Okay, sweet. So let's go. Yeah, hopefully that slowed him down a turn though, huh? Gonna ramp with the Celestis. We'll have big score available soon enough. If they start to get out of hand, hopefully our drag to the bottom can still hit everything. Right now, it's hitting everything -6, -6. So we want to make sure to do that before these get out of hand, you know? Honestly, right now could be good, but they get the Kami of Transience right back to their hand. Ooh, Leyline Binding. Oh. We could... Okay. Yeah, everything's good here, isn't it? It's like everything's good. Like the big score is really good too, because we can ramp into the Toxrill. I think we're gonna pass and see what they do. I will take that action, and we might ditch. I don't mind the mana, but there's plenty to draw, and the big score is gonna get us some treasures. The Tainted Indulgence could draw us more too, so yeah, we'll ditch the plains. I don't think we need that. Just based on this hand, I'm feeling pretty confident, but at any point, I don't know. Yeah, this is still anyone's game, but I'm feeling pretty confident based on this. Generous Visitor. Okay. We'll see where they're gonna plug these extra counters and everything. Wedding announcement. Nice, nice. Okay, so they're going there. So I wonder if we take the wedding announcement with our Leyline. That could be fine. Put a stop in their second main phase or something. So do we want to take the 10? Or do we want to take the Kami of Transience, take 6? Wedding announcement's a problem, but is it that much of a problem? Alright, we're going to start with the big score. Ditch the Tainted Indulgence, actually. 2 more big scores. Not what I was expecting, honestly. Get that Leyline Binding down, see, and take the Kami of Transience. Because the drag to the bottom, like, they get the Kami of Transience back to their hand. They're going to draw, so they're not getting a 1-1 off the announcement, which is kind of bad, actually. We're going to take this action. Another Leyline Binding. Holy cow, guys. Ditch one of the big scores here, I'd say. Honestly, just playing the Toxrill right now would be fine, because it takes care of Generous Visitor. It's a big problem. That Borrowed Time probably hits, huh? Let's get Toxrill down. That's more fun than just going drag to the bottom this turn, and we're probably safe for a turn. Especially since the Visitor dies, we get a 1-1 here. Yeah, just dropping the Toxrill's insane. Like, the second Borrowed Time is would be fine, because we have the other Leyline Binding to take that Borrowed Time. To get the Toxrill back then. Yeah, this is gross, guys. This is nasty. Big score's pretty good. We can ditch the second drag to the bottom. I guess we'll just keep this open and just let all of their stuff die. They probably chump then, right? Just go no attacks, just in case. That's gross. That's nasty, guys. Couldn't ask for a better first match to showcase Toxrill. Sheoldred. Let's ditch one of the drag to the bottoms. Yeah, like, we could have swung with Toxrill. They probably would have chumped with the 1-1 knowing that it was going to die. Oh, second Hollowed Haunting. Oh, this could be bad. But they're tapped out too. We have the Binding. I guess that's that. I guess this is fine. Big score's good and all, but I don't really want to ditch the Sheoldred. I don't really know. It's a little bit tough, guys. I guess we'll hit one of the Hollowed Hauntings because that's too good to have 2 of them. I don't want to get rid of the drag to the bottom, but I'm going to. Because I think we're safe enough with the Toxrill. Alright, let's see. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, nice. So I guess we'll start swinging now, huh? We'll start with the swing, see where they block. And we'll sacrifice the slug. Actually, you know what we should have done? Should have played Sheoldred first, that way if they did block the slug, we could sacrifice it to draw to gain more too. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. They need to find a borrowed time for the Toxrill as soon as possible, but then we just have like a bunch of other nasty stuff. Yeah, we'll draw. It's fine, we don't need the extra life gain. Another land, that's okay. Taking a ton of damage here. We'll go ahead and get Sheoldred down over the Fable. I guess we'll play... Oh no, we already played our land. You know what? Fable's pretty good. Now that Sheoldred's down, gaining life on the chapter 2 of the Fable is pretty gross. Swamp. Yeah, we'll ditch the swamp. That's fine. I guess keeping the triomes is probably a little better. Opponent needs something crazy, dude. They need some kind of like crazy board wipe or anything like that. Yeah, GG opponent. Oh my goodness. I wonder what the red was splashed in here for. Maybe it was Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Maybe they were using it as a dual land that could also cycle too, because in some decks you do want that. So yeah, nice. Good first game. Seems pretty powerful. There were probably some more efficient plays that I could have done better throughout that whole thing. Like maybe just slamming down Toxrill as soon as possible. Maybe that wasn't the most optimal play when they could have had another borrowed time. But yeah, we still had like that extra Leyline Binding in hand too. Yeah, oh my goodness. Just gross cards. Alright, opponent, what are you bringing to the table, buddy? We're seeing a lot of Selesnya recently. We got the blue on the lounge. This isn't the greatest hand, guys. Opponent goes first, so we do draw. You know what? I'm going to try it. That was a great first game. I'm curious to see... Oh, nice. Oh, perfect. Alright, we don't have the turn 2 make disappear open, but like... We could draw an untapped land and have it. No way. Is it going to be more Selesnya? It is going to be more Selesnya. We are seeing so much of this. Yeah, the make disappear would have been nice to have open, but I guess here they come, guys. Revenge. Immune with spirits. Okay. We'll probably drop a land and see what they got. Oh yeah, companion only cost 1 mana with Naturalist. They got another one maybe? Dropping some puppies on the board would be pretty cool. Not a second one, so... Okay, Jetmir's Garden. We don't need the 3 mana, so yeah, good draw, honestly. We'll keep the make disappear open, and at this point, it's probably not going to be able to work because they probably have enough mana. Yeah, so see, they have the 2 mana open now. Yeah, it took too long, guys. Slow mana here. They might play something else, though, like a Hollowed Haunting. Ooh, we're in danger. Oh, they pass it back. Oh my goodness, we draw a drag to the bottom. What a draw, guys. I don't even think this is a question. We got to take care of this board state. Like, yeah, we could big score, like, whatever, you know? Like, the perfect draw. See what they got in their hand. No blue over there, so need something fancy to protect their creatures. Yeah, we don't wait on this. We're already at 13. It's big damage on the board. Touch of the Spirit Realm. Oh, that's pretty cool. They go for the Weaver there. Okay, yeah, we don't see Touch of the Spirit Realm often in these Selesnya builds, guys, and honestly, a great addition, opponent. A very great addition. Yeah, that might be enough, but now we're going to be able to get Sphinx of the Clear Skies down. Leyline Binding. Oh my goodness. We could keep big score open too. Sphinx of the Clear Skies has the wards too, so if they go borrowed time, they have to spend all 5 of their mana. But that might be a reason why they kept Weaver. If we go like, if we keep it all open, At this point, the make disappears are pretty bad. I think we just go Sphinx and hope. And if it is going to end up being removal for the Sphinx and they end up tapping out and then we only take 2 damage next turn, like, that's fine too. Yeah, borrowed time, so they got to pay the ward 2 cost here. And Leyline Binding can hit the borrowed time to bring our Sphinx back, and it's a very difficult card for them to remove. Having to spend 5 mana to remove it is pretty bad. So actually, with the Leyline Binding, now we'll be able to keep the Make Disappear open to stop this, right? We actually can play the Celestis as well and still have the enough open for... So how do we want to do this? We want to do it mid-combat so that way we can block Weaver. So we're going to end turn. I think that's the best bet for us. Oh! Yeah, we can't let that hit. Make Disappear number 1 coming in handy. Still got the Leyline Binding open. Here comes the swing. Swinging right into it. We'll gobble up that borrowed time. And block that Weaver. Very nice, guys. Very, very nice. Oh, man. That is gross. Okay. Tainted Indulgence. So, let's start with the swing. I'm feeling pretty safe. See what they end up, how they end up splitting these. Whoa, they're just giving us the whole pile. Did they misclick? What was that about? I have no idea. I mean, I'll take it. We'll play the Raffine's Tower as the land. Couple treasures. We got the slip out the back for protection now too. Couple Tainted Indulgence. We're gonna have to discard down. And I guess it's gonna be one of the Tainted Indulgence. That's fine. It's card draw, but I like the double Rona's Vortex here, as that could be a pretty good removal against this style of deck. Yeah, hopefully the next games we get to showcase the deck against other styles. See, they got to be very careful about like another Hollowed Haunting or something. Borrowed Time, see, yeah, the Make Disappear. The Make Disappear is pretty brutal, guys, because the Ward 2 on the Sphinx. Yeah. Toxrill's going to come down next turn too. Are they going to hit the Leyline Binding? Oh, yeah, borrowed time doesn't have to hit. I think it was still worth making them pay, right? Because they still don't have the Ward 2, but they can gobble up Celestis, or... It's still pretty cool that they had other options there, you know? It's pretty cool. It also takes away our ramp, but we still have enough for Toxrill, luckily. Toxrill and a slip out the back for some protection. I probably shouldn't have played that land, just in case, but it's fine. We'll see what we draw here. I don't think there's going to be a different land that we want to hit. Oh, what are they doing? Why are they giving all of them? Is there a strategy here that I don't know about? What's going on, guys? What's going on? I'm going to play the Toxrill. Why are they giving me all the cards? Yeah, GG, opponent. Maybe they were accidentally clicking through it. I don't know if I've ever been on the other side of the Sphinx's ability. Actually, a card we just don't see often, do we? We run into some domain control sometimes, but we don't see Sphinx that often. Huh. A very powerful card, though, and that was weird that we got all 5 cards both times. So, yeah, I don't know if the opponent was, like, accidentally clicking through it or something. Something along those lines. Well, we've proven that we can beat Selesnya enchantments. Now let's see what else we can actually find here. Hopefully different matchups. overall, I'm satisfied with how the deck is operating. It seems like we have so many options and so much available to us that it's kind of like a stress-free deck. Like, there's not a lot... Yeah, there's, like, not a lot to worry about, I guess. Okay, yeah, we got something different finally. That's good news. Xander's Lounge is a great draw. Wow. Got Leyline Binding open for 1 mana. Wedding Announcement. That's worth grabbing. That's worth hitting. Wedding Announcement can be a problem. There might be better stuff to hit overall, but like, yeah, that's a great early target. A little bit of ramp with Celestis once again. Bankbuster. Okay. So Boros mid-range maybe. That drag to the bottom might come in handy. Get that Sphinx down. We could have waited. We could have kept the big score. And then waited till we had Slip out the back. But I think the Ward 2 is enough protection for the Sphinx for now. Wow, GG. The Sphinx was enough to make them concede. It is a tough card to remove, but like, you know, they could have had like a Depopulate in this style of deck too. So yeah, okay, let's hop right into the next one, guys. You can see the deck is drawing really beautifully too. That's pretty sweet. I like it so far. This is some 4-color Toxrill. Four color boss monsters, right? Oh man. Wonder what else we're gonna see today. That could have been Mardu too. Maybe they were missing their black source. That is very possible because we were seeing a lot more Mardu after the Meat Hook ban, so. Okay, yeah. We'll keep this. We go first too. We have a turn 2 Tainted Indulgence if we want to. Turn 3 Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Looks pretty solid. Leyline Binding already costs 3 mana, so it's essentially a borrowed time at this point, you know? Let's keep that Tainted Indulgence open. Scare him a little bit, huh? Probably ditch the Haunted Ridge since we draw mana quite efficiently. Okay, Blood Tithe Harvester. It's too bad we don't have a Make Disappear here, huh? Oh, there's a Make Disappear. I'm gonna stick with it and ditch... Actually... Yeah, I'm gonna ditch the mana. So we have a great chance of drawing more mana. Celestis, nice. Oh man, so Fable, they probably trade Harvester into the 2/2 so we don't ramp successfully. So I'm gonna go Celestis and keep Rona's Vortex open. In case they have a 3-drop here that's worth bouncing back to their hand like a, well, it depends because the Corpse Appraiser is a pretty bad bounce. And so's Harvester, actually. That might not have been the best play, but the ramp with Celestis is fine. I also could have just kept the mana in hand and ditched, like, the Vortex. Bouncing Harvester slows down the damage a little bit, but honestly, it's fine. Switches to nighttime, and I'm gonna take that action. We find another mana, and I guess the Vortex wasn't the greatest card to keep in hand. Okay, Shattered Sanctum, and this feels like they're keeping open like a Make Disappear, huh? I don't want to lose the Sheoldred. So let's go Fable. And then have the Make Disappear open. That seems pretty good. And if they go Make Disappear here, then of course... Okay, we can pay the 2, or we can play our own Make Disappear. And that is just pay the 2, get the Fable down. Because this might come in handy later on. We have the Swamp, which means we can keep 2 open to drop the Sheoldred. Yeah, we figured they were gonna take that trade there. 4 mana available. They want to do this while I'm tapped out. Okay, Reckoner, Bankbuster. Discard up to 2, huh? Well, we got the big score. The Leyline Binding can be very valuable against a deck like that. I'm gonna decline. I think we're pretty stacked here. Attempt the Sheoldred. Got 2 mana open for another Make Disappear, and if they decide to have like a Essence Capture or whatever, then we have the Make Disappear to hit that, so looks like they're gonna draw on the Bankbuster. Okay. Sheoldred hitting the board is pretty huge for us, but simple removal like Infernal Grasp can take care of that. Doesn't look like they have it though, since they drew. They would have... Corpse Appraiser, nice. So they do have 2 mana available. Do we want them to pay the 2? Yes, I do actually. I do want them to pay the 2. And the reason why is if they're tapped out next turn, we can successfully do... Yeah, we can successfully, like, go big score. There's a lot of things we can just do successfully here if they want that Corpse Appraiser down. Now we don't got to worry about a Make Disappear of their own. I feel like that's just better. Although getting rid of a counter spell for something so simple where they can actually pay, it depends, it depends. Gain some life here, and we're going to go right into that big score. Also, that made it so that way they couldn't pay to draw off a Bankbuster as well. Although drawing off a Bankbuster would have done 2 damage to them, so... I don't know what's holding them up. I guess maybe the crew cost on Bankbuster. They might not know that they're holding us up, honestly. That happens sometimes. So starting with big score, we're going to have 2 extra treasures. Draw 2. This goes through. They can't counter it. Raffine's Tower. Another big score. Let's go swing to see if they block. I'm pretty sure they take the 4. No, they're gonna go ahead and block here. Do we do the big score on our turn or keep the Leyline Binding open? Problem with doing it on their turn is they could counter it, so I'm gonna do it this turn. We're gonna get 2 more treasures. We're gonna ditch the tower. We're gonna see what we find. Tainted Indulgence, that's really good. We have the Toxrill too. We do have enough mana for Toxrill. Okay. Do we take this action? I guess we take this action. It's more life gain, which is a little bit ridiculous. And we can just ditch the Tainted Indulgence, I guess. Oh, drag to the bottom. Okay, I guess we'll get rid of drag to the bottom. It could be really good against Grixis because they definitely know how to get cards onto the board, and they have like their own fables and everything. We still have 3 more drag to the bottoms in the build though. Tainted Indulgence can draw us more cards too, so I kind of like that more. I don't know about using these treasures for the Tainted Indulgence, by the way. Blood Tithe Harvester, yep. It's not enough to take out Sheoldred yet. That is, though. They're gonna take 2. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead, let the Sheoldred perish here. They'll have 2 mana open, and they're probably just gonna pass it right back. We're gonna not do the Tainted Indulgence this turn. Gonna let it go. Path of Peril. Yeah, another Make Disappear would really suck. Path of Peril could be really good against this build. But I'm going to see what we draw. Sphinx. Okay, and I'd like to keep the Abandoned Mire. But if we play it as a mana, we'll have 2 open to get around the Make Disappear, and then the Ward too. Yeah, I guess that's fine too. Having the 2 open to get around the Make Disappear is pretty good. And also, once it hits, we have Reflection to copy the Sphinx. So there's a lot going on here, guys. There's a lot of serious stuff going on here. Like, if they go for the Make Disappear because they don't want me to copy it. See, that's perfect. That's kind of what we did earlier, where we wanted them to tap out, and the opponent has done the same thing here. So nice. I'm actually going to go no attacks because Reflection, I think they might just end up trading with... Actually, I am going to attack, because if they play a second Blood Tithe Harvester... Oh, they're going to crew up. Oh, I'm crazy, guys. I'm crazy. I missed the Bank Buster. I knew it was over there. Oops. Well, I'd like to say it happens to the best of us, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that. Attacking into Bank Buster. Dang, I can't believe I did that. Well, they were probably gonna go Harvester. See, the Harvester would be gone though. Harvester into Reflection is probably what they were going to go for. But now they can play like a second Harvester and then hit the Sphinx quite easily. Oh, hopefully that Reflection attack doesn't... It isn't the reason why we lose here. I hope not, guys. We still got a ton of life. We're going to take the 3 for sure. They must have like a Voltage Surge or something along those lines in hand. Man, I can't believe I swung into... Oh, it was an Abrade. Oh, they don't want to take out my Celestis? Oh, I don't... Oh. Oh, I would have hit that Celestis. Yeah, we don't need that. Well, we do need it to play Toxrill, but like we're playing in right into... Okay, another Leyline. Like, we're playing right into a third Make Disappear if we go Toxrill. Let's start with the swing. Ward 2 being disgusting here. Yeah, I really wish I didn't attack into that Bank Buster. I apologize for that, guys. That was silly. Absolutely silly. Let's see what we get. Sphinx of the Clear Skies being able to draw us potentially 2 cards here. Ooh. Let's take that second Toxrill and the land. Because now if they Make Disappear one, we have the other. Wow, it lands. Oh, man. I don't think that misplay is going to be that bad on us, guys, but they could wipe the board. That could be a thing. Invoke Despair. Huh. I'm gonna get rid of Toxrill. No, I guess it's better. Well... Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of Toxrill, guys. The Ward 2 on the Sphinx, and we have a second Toxrill here. Yeah, Ward 2 on the Sphinx and flying on the Sphinx too, so like... They can't double Voltage Surge. They don't have a black source open for Infernal Grasp anymore. A Fading Hope cost all 3 of their mana. I guess a Fading Hope could do it, or a Rona's Vortex for that matter. Oh man. Yeah, the biggest thing that my misplay swing did was keep this Harvester on the board, which is potentially very dangerous. That's the biggest thing that it did, right? Because I'm pretty sure their Harvester was going to take out Reflection anyways. Opponent's thinking, is there going to be a way through here? Depends what they have in hand. Yeah, Ward 2 is pretty gross. It handles a lot. See, like going Bank Buster, yep, that pretty much tells us that it's over because, yeah, they have 2 mana available and the ward 2 on the Sphinx. GG opponent. Oh my goodness, guys. 100% win rate so far with this Toxrill's Domain. The deck feels super nasty. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut it a little bit short today. We're 40 minutes in. The next match is probably going to take a while anyways, because, you know, this style of build takes a second. But I also want to take an extra minute to talk about the deck again. Here's the list. What do you guys think? So I have a couple thoughts here. First of all, having the make disappear over something like more removal, right? We have the make disappear over Infernal Grasp or over some cut downs on this top end too. I think it works. I think just the make disappears have a lot of power. I think that being able to counter target any spell goes a lot further than like an Infernal Grasp just being able to hit a creature and then we also lose 2 life and stuff like that. And this deck also has white in here too, so like a Fateful Absence could be an option as well. I just think the make disappears are going to do more overall in this particular build. Rona's Vortex didn't come into play today, but there were definitely going to be moments where it could have come into play, and being able to like return your opponent's Fable of the Mirrebreaker token or something like that, something super simple, is very powerful. And then the kicker cost on here too is just nasty. I think the single slip out the back is pretty cool too. I like that. I wouldn't drop that. Tainted Indulgence. This could probably be replaced with something else depending on what you're seeing in your meta. However, that being said, it is pretty good card draw and a pretty great way to filter through your hand, so I don't think I would drop any. Like, this is one of those decks where more testing is required, but if you just like look at it, like, we don't need to test it to know that these are some seriously powerful cards. and almost anything you draw off the top happens to be all okay, right? That's why we were struggling sometimes to figure out what on earth to discard out of our hand, because we liked all of it in our hand. Drag to the Bottom is a pretty powerful piece of removal, and like I said, sometimes it's going to remove everything except for like your Toxrill. Toxrill's an insane boss monster, guys, and if you ever get this down and you have an option to have an open mana, like if you want to wait like 1 extra turn and you know you'll have an open mana on that next turn, then getting Toxrill down and keeping the slip out the back in hand would just be disgusting, right? Because then as soon as the opponent thinks they're going to remove Toxrill, you slip it out the back and you're good to go for your next turn, right? Sphinx of the Clear Skies just kind of outshines the rest of the deck in a sense where it is really good in that ward too. Oh man, we should probably go up at least 1 Sphinx, but then it might upset the balance of the rest of the deck. Like maybe drop a Cruelty, go up a Sphinx, that might be okay, maybe. See, you want to treat Cruelty as like extra cards too. Like it's an extra Toxrill if you need it. It's an extra Sheoldred if you need it. It's an extra drag to the bottom. Which could be very important. That Chapter 2 ability, you kind of want to just treat it as those extra cards, and so dropping it down to 1 might be bad, even though we didn't get to see Cruelty today. Big score, guys. I think we could safely drop this to 3, but boy, oh boy, was it powerful, wasn't it? The treasure tokens is ridiculous. Yeah, we were able to ramp into Toxrill successfully, and same with the Celestis, guys, and just gaining life off of the Celestis as well. We didn't get to see Path of the Peril, but we know how good it is. And if you go up against Gruul or Mono White or Mono Red aggro, then Path of the Peril is going to be a little bit of an MVP. And if they ever let the game go on for too long, then destroying all creatures, like including their Raijus and stuff, or their Sarah Paragons if it's Mono White, then yeah, we know. We know it's good. We know. Everything here. Oh, Leyline Binding. Dude, gross and really easy to get to 1 mana. I thought most of the time it was going to be 2 mana in this build, but it looked like it was a little bit too easy to get to 1 mana with the Binding. And of course, having Binding open What was it in that last game? I think it was 3 mana for most of that last game, and that's still just really powerful, isn't it? Because it has flash, and that's pretty nasty, guys. Like, everything in this deck is just kind of disgusting. Um, I would play this deck again. If I enjoyed the ranking up process, I would rank up with this deck. I'm not I'm not saying I don't. Well, I don't like the process of like the back and forth. I don't like the grindiness of ranked is what I should say. And so that's why I'm always pretty much in the same exact spot for the next video, like in the ranks, because if I'm playing for enjoyment, then I really just like to play for enjoyment. Either way, I think this would be an option if we wanted to rank up. Honestly, it would be nice to rank up sometime, and this is one of those decks that I'll probably keep around just to do that, just in case I want to. Of course, the Brothers War is coming out very soon too, so that's going to change a lot, so we'll see. It's interesting having a domain build without green. And it works, doesn't it, man? All right. Hey, I'm going to stop rambling on here. If you guys made it this far into the video, then y'all are champions, and I super duper appreciate you. And I will see you in the next video.